you're not of the mindset, I don't think, that you believe a demon can jump through the TV and get in our spirit, right? Do you believe that? I don't think you believe that. Do you believe that?
We have to have sound effects right now to this silence.
Oh, brother.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Family Business with the Alessis. I'm Steve Alessi, and my wife Mary Alessi told me I needed to really act excited about this episode today.
Well,
hey, we're in season 8. Got over 200 episodes that we've been able to record and share with our audience. Over 1 million views on YouTube. Very excited about that. So we want to encourage you to keep following and subscribing and send this episode to at least 2 friends of yours, especially as we talk about things holiday and fun and what you're going to be doing right now. So I do want to say, I want to celebrate a little bit here.
Okay.
Turn 65.
Yeah, you tried to sneak in that 50 part.
Turned 65, and I woke up on that birthday with this thought in mind. I shared it with you, but it's pretty cool. I'm glad to be here. And it was the first time in my life I can relate to this phrase, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want."
Because you don't want for anything.
I have everything.
Yeah.
I feel so good about life.
That's
and
so
about
good.
all the blessings and goodness that have come my way from the Almighty, from my wife and my kids and my friends and my church and my work. I'm just really blessed. There's more to accomplish.
Yeah.
But I feel really good about life at this point. So thanks for helping make that happen.
Baby, I love you. You are a young 65, and you have a lot of vision and a lot of purpose and a lot of drive. It's amazing. I keep thinking to myself, when's he going to get old? When's he going to slow down? And you haven't yet. And no, it really is inspiring because I'm so much younger. And I still have, a long way to go to catch up to you.
Okay, thank you very much.
So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm still in the 5s.
You are.
That is so weird to say.
Yeah, you are. I never thought you'd be there.
I know.
But you are. I still look at you in your 40s. Yeah.
In my 40s?
Yeah, I can't believe
you can't go back to like 35. You had to say 40s.
Well, 40s were very fun. I remember 40s. Remember, I don't remember 30s because 30s was real challenging. Decade. Not tough. I mean, not easy. Very tough.
No. So. And we've been married 38 years.
Yeah.
Going on. We're going to hit that big 40. I've got plans for that.
And by the way, you did a great job with my
65th birthday. Yeah. That was fun.
Even though we were out and about.
We surprised you.
You did. It was very nice.
We surprised you.
I was happy. So I shall not want.
I shall not want. You will not want.
Let's get into something.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Let's get into something here.
Okay.
Trying to always stay relevant with our conversation here in the podcast booth. Wanting to make sure that you're in our family. The whole podcast is about our family doing work together, not just doing life together, but doing work together.
Right. Our principles.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we're a 2nd generation, you and I. Our kids are 3rd generation, and the baton's being passed, and it's really cool. And we see the 4th generation on the horizon. Very sweet. But here's the deal. We spend time together as a family around the holidays. We just did it. And one of the things we like to do is binge programs on television.
Right.
So
I think everybody's doing that.
Yeah, that's fun, right?
Yeah.
I was asking a couple of young women that are in their 30s. I asked them if they saw a certain commercial. It shows you how people are streaming these days.
Yes.
And they said, Pastor, we don't know when was the last time we saw a commercial.
Yeah.
They don't watch regular television.
No.
They're just on to streaming platforms all the time.
And they pay the upcharge so they don't see the ads. We're cheap.
Okay, cool.
We get the ads.
But they are single, so I would think they'd be watching the Hallmark Channel.
You think?
Yeah. Those amazing stories.
Okay.
That my 70-year-old buddy Manny loves to watch. Wow. Very interesting. Okay, so here's the question though. Why don't you ask it? Because this is your idea, and I think it's a good conversation.
It's definitely a conversation that we've had all our marriage because you don't like scary stuff. I don't like horror, scary. I don't mind if something's a little bit more scary. But the question is always asked, should Christians, should kids, at what point are scary things allowed? Either in your home, or should you watch them? What should you let in your eye gate? What video should you be watching? Is this demonic? Is that demonic? Is horror all demonic? Is being scared just a fun thing, or does it affect your soul?
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's so many different opinions on that in the Christian world. I mean, there's people that aren't Christians that don't like to watch scary stuff because it affects them.
So this is the result of Stranger Things.
Stranger Things.
I'm not a fan.
No.
You are a fan with your girls.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And I didn't like it because it seems to have this, this portal that's opened up from the demonic, and
right.
And I don't go for that.
But let's clarify what you mean by that. You don't like to watch it. You're not of the mindset, I don't think, that you believe a demon can jump through the TV and get in our spirit. Right? Do you believe that? I don't think you believe that. Do you believe that?
We have to have sound effects right now to this silence.
Oh, brother.
I think if you're not covered,
well,
you're
of course.
exposed.
Right.
Okay. I think you open yourself up to things. Bible tells us don't open the door to the enemy. And I think there could be an oppressive environment. So, yeah, if you're not covered, you're in trouble.
Okay, so all right, so let's put Stranger Things on the table for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Movies like The Exorcist.
Never watched.
Never did I. I didn't either. I don't like stuff like that.
Nope.
When Harry Potter came out, it was all about wizardry. We didn't let our kids watch it when they were little. There was such a hoopla in the Christian world about Harry Potter being so bad for our kids. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So when they were little, they did not watch it. We didn't let it in our home. When they became teenagers, they were teenagers watching Harry Potter as a little boy. And the storyline really had a lot of value because the truth was, it's basically a mirror image, is kind of, I don't know what the word would be, a liturgy. I don't know. Solange may know, she's the novelist, of Christ and the enemy and the battle against good versus evil and how the enemy tries to work against you, although told through the lens of wizardry. I get that. And I know that is a stretch for us as Christians because we go, well, at the end of the day, it's just good versus evil. It isn't Christ versus the enemy or God versus the devil. It's a story that a person who is not a Christian wrote, not tying that into some spiritual Christian backed storyline.
Okay, so let me throw this at you.
But my point was, it had tremendous value within that subject.
Okay, so I didn't like Wicked. And I don't like Wicked 2 because of some wizardry.
Well, they made Wicked wicked.
Yeah.
They messed up the whole thing. My Ariana Grande and Cynthia Rubio. In my opinion, they've absolutely made it wicked.
They've made it
demonic.
That is dark and normalized it.
And they took a simple story.
I can't help but see the work or the hand of darkness in this to
100%.
try to get evil to be accepted as normal. And so that's where I'm watching and streaming programs to entertain me.
I know.
Right? And I'm not entertained by that stuff. And I don't understand how a person, even in our family, there are some that like it. One in particular, no, not you. Oh. I'm talking about Lauren. She, for some reason, enjoys.
Well, we loved Wicked. So let's just hold on a second, because you just stop right there, mister. Okay? No, we loved Wicked because when they were little girls, the storyline is from The Wizard of Oz. And it's what you see is not what you get. It's behind the curtain of Oz. He's not the big scary monster that we think he is. And the Wicked Witch of the West, the green girl, isn't really a bad witch. She's not really bad. She's just misunderstood.
She's a good witch?
The storyline is she's misunderstood from the perspective of Dorothy. And of course, it becomes a love story. So it's not it has an incredible theme. If you watched it on Broadway, if you went to Broadway and watched it, it's about the music, it's about the casting, it's about the storyline that was written years and years and years ago. What is happening now with the movie is not at all, it's a distorted view because of what's happening between the actual actors who are on the show. It's not the storyline. They've perverted the whole concept around Wicked because for some reason they all look anorexic. It's bizarre. Something's off. Something's really, really weird. So is that the storyline? Is that now all of Wicked is bad? If you know the storyline, it's not even as much about witches. It does have that element to it, but it's more of a fantasy land. It's from the story of Dorothy. But now what these actors have done is they brought their own personal perversion, binary, transgender, sick way of doing life, and they brought that into this whole market of Wicked. And it has so twisted and perverted the storyline. I don't want to see the second one.
Okay.
Only because I don't want to see these, quite frankly, I don't want to see Cynthia Erivo again on the screen. Plus, then she went and did Jesus Christ Superstar. They used a female to play Christ. There's something demonic about her. Now, to me, if you paint everything with the same brush, oh, it's all demonic. Harry Potter's demonic. If there's anything that you see spells on, it's coming through the screen. I think there's an extreme there. Just like when you look at The Exorcist, there's an extreme because there's a priest casting out demons. What we would say as Christians, that's a good thing. But do we need to see that? What does that do? Well, it instills fear in us. And if more fear is stirred up, then you shouldn't watch it because fear isn't good for anybody. Right. So I do think you should have limits. And we know as we become teenagers and we become young adults and we become older, man, that's affecting me too much. I'm not watching that anymore. And that could be scary. That could be, quite frankly, watching gay scenes on television because all that's being forced on us. So going back to Stranger Things for a minute, jump in anytime. The storyline about that, again, was so incredible because these group of kids who decide they're not afraid, they're going to take on, it's not just a demonic realm, it's a man-made demonic realm. Okay, it's not even real. It's just a man-made bad guy, but they're not going to be afraid and they're going to take their town back. So to me, that isn't demonic. It's good overcoming evil and not being afraid. Now, though, they've got a cast of characters, and there's one in particular that they're tying this all into his coming out. And that's where you start going, now, wait a minute. So he's becoming who he always was, which was gay, which is now giving him superpowers to fight off evil. And that's where the storyline starts to go, okay, wait a minute. I, as an adult, can differentiate that, but I don't want my kids watching this. Just like I wouldn't want them to watch something too demonic, or I wouldn't want them to watch something too LGBTQ promoting. I would say, that's not for you right now. Maybe in the future when you're a little older, but right now that's not for you. That's my take.
Right. Well, that demonic is out there. We see it leading up to, October 31st. Everything, all these movies that are coming up that are like, it's opening like a portal of hell. It's scary stuff. And I don't even know how these actors are able to put themselves in that kind of dark environment, except they're used to that. So I don't think it's good for a person and for a family to open their home to that kind of entertainment. That it's just not entertaining enough. I'm afraid it just opens you up, normalizing that darkness, and then you can find yourself being influenced by that. And I'm glad you brought up the other, even with the LGBTQ community and how that is more and more being normalized. And you're watching a movie sometimes and you're falling for a character only to learn that they're a transgender. So it could be a guy that's now looking like a girl. He's being, playing a girl. And it's like, wow, that's real confusing.
That's the future more and more and more.
Yeah. And that's Hollywood. That's the entertainment industry.
So I do think,
though I'm not sure why.
Well,
because we don't all have the LGBTQ community in our lives. It's like, that's their community.
Right.
So that's good for them. It's like Christian films. People don't like to watch Christian films that are not Christian. They're like, that's just a community for Christians. And you're hoping that you almost dumb it down from its Christian values so that the non-Christian would pay attention to it. But they're not. They're not into it. But so why wouldn't we do the same with the LGBTQ community instead of opening that up in our home?
I think for me, what it goes down to, the core of it all is you got to know what you believe. You got to know what your standards are. You've got to know where the line is.
Yeah.
And what you're not going to take in, what you're not going to ingest into your spirit. So if there's a question about it, I think for every Christian, you need to get those questions answered. And rather than just being religious, it's all bad, demons are going to jump out of the thing, it's whatever. I don't believe any of that because I don't think the enemy has any authority or power over us as Christians. At all, he has no power that we don't give him. We can give him power and he has access. But I don't believe watching something that is scary gives him access to my soul.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do think over time, if I don't analyze that and really look at it from the perspective of, is that good for me? Whether it is scary, anything that goes against my godly principles, what is that doing to me?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not making me think from the perspective of how do I feel about this? What does the Bible say about it? That we don't agree with that. I'm not in agreement with that. Why would I let that entertain me?
Right.
The scary side, good versus evil, I think that's a little bit different. I think that as long as, I don't think children should be exposed to that period at all. I think adults that understand how to manage that and it's an entertaining storyline where good overcomes evil. That's up for the viewer, that's up for the believer, the Christian to make that decision. But I do think we don't want to make a religion out of what we should watch and what we shouldn't watch. But I think as believers and out of Christians, we should all take personal responsibility to protect our spirits. And it starts with protecting your mind, protecting what you see, what you hear. Because even though we think I would never be influenced by that, somehow we are being desensitized.
Mm-hmm.
We're still human.
Yeah.
And if desensitization works on anybody, it's still going to work on us.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we have to say, like, I'm not going to go into a club as a Christian and party and then say I'm still a Christian, because why? I'm not going to be in that environment. That's not good for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with what we let through that television tube in our home.
Yeah.
We have to be careful.
Yeah. Well, I don't, as a man, I don't stomach seeing two men making out.
Or two women. Yeah. None of it. No.
I can't.
No.
I was going to say something, but I won't joke, but it was bad timing.
It's not funny.
It's like if I'm scrolling on my feed, I will see some hunting pages that I follow. And what they'll do is they'll blur out the image and it'll tell you, if you want to see the image, hit the button and hit your screen and you can see the image. Because they know that there's certain people that if they're seeing the image of a dead animal, which is most likely what you're going to see because it's a hunting page, that you can't stomach that. It doesn't go well with you,
Right.
So you're going
censored.
to gross out. Oh my God, so they censor it. It almost needs to be the same thing, quite frankly, with that. I mean, if a person can't stomach a dead animal, we're being asked to stomach two men making out on television, and it should be a normal television family program.
Right.
And okay, I got it. You want to have two gay characters? Do that.
But give us a disclaimer. Yeah.
That?
Right.
Why? Just because it's normal to you, it's not normal to everybody. So there are things that you should be very sensitive about streaming.
Absolutely.
And that's why I love being in the podcast booth and being able to say things here that we cannot say on Sunday.
Yeah.
Because not everybody gets that.
No.
The having to be so careful with what you say, that doesn't apply. This is our podcast. This is what our family embraces, Mary.
Right.
And there are things that we just know as a family, we're not going to stream
No.
around the holidays
No.
when we get together.
Well, that's the thing. We're even back to Stranger Things, which again, I love the storyline. I don't like as much what's happening this season with that particular character, but the storyline in and of itself is fabulous. It's phenomenal. Yes, it's got some very scary scenes because the man-made monster is very scary, but he's still a man. So in my mind, I think to myself, he's not a spiritual being. He's man-made. He didn't come from hell.
Yeah.
So it's not supernatural. It's all man-made, which means he can be defeated. And as Christians, we know what it's like to take on the enemy. The enemy's been defeated. Now, some people would say that's a stretch. Stop trying to make it a spiritual thing. It is not. It is not a Christian storyline, whatever. And I get that. And I think that all of us have to process it from this perspective. If it troubles you, if it bothers your spirit, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Turn it off. But I also think that there are some, as Christians, there's some zero tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think watching homosexual scenes is one of them.
Yeah.
We should make a stand, make a statement by saying, if they could see who their viewers were and find out that all the Christians turned it off, they would realize that there are millions and millions of people who don't want to see gay scenes, will not watch gay scenes, don't want to be desensitized by it.
But that's why a lot of people we know have canceled Netflix.
A lot of people have canceled.
Because they're just not happy with the stuff that they're seeing.
Well, I heard, and I don't know if this is a fact, but even the new Zootopia show, am I right about this? The new Zootopia has a couple of innuendos with gay characters. So now it's not enough that we're watching some show that we're excited to see. It's all about crime investigation, and you see two men or two women and they take it there and you're going, well, I can't watch this anymore. I'm not watching this anymore. But they're now going after, there is an agenda to go after our children.
That's been happening. Now, I would say, I don't want to spiritualize all of this alone, but even if I wasn't a Christian, I don't think I can stomach the stuff that's out there with the scary. I'm just not, I don't want to watch
never like that. Ever.
Never. Scary stuff. Can't do it. I think, is Chris like that? Our son?
Oh, he won't watch anything scary. Now, he likes Stranger Things because it's so brilliantly written, and the way that the other two series or scenes, well, actually, the 3 seasons, this is 4.
I think it's 5.
Are we on 5? We're on 5. How those seasons have gone, the storyline has been great. Set in the 80s. It's just been phenomenal. Very mysterious. And it wasn't until towards the end that more of the scary gore, the Demogorgons start coming out and, you know, but they're defeatable.
Yeah. Well, the reason I liked it at the beginning is because that looked like me.
Right. The set, the 80s set.
The shorts.
We told our kids, we're like, they nailed the 80s.
Yeah.
They nailed the 80s. It looks exactly like it did when we went to school, riding our bikes everywhere, all our friends out all afternoon. You just had to be back before dark. So that was the appeal. And again, to me, the part that's making me say, come on, guys, what are we doing? Is I think it's a character assassination, personally, of one of the main characters, to say that his superpower is now because he's coming out of the closet to be himself. And that I'm just like, why? We went to school in the 80s. We were there. That did not happen.
Mm-mm.
That did not happen. That was not a true fact of what was happening in the 80s.
Now, if I was homosexual, I would be pretty upset with some programming, because it seems like whoever the whack job is in the program,
they make the gay person.
Is the gay person. What's that about?
It's very strange. I don't know if that's the way that they're trying to come in so that
in every
we justify it.
Yeah, every serial killer has some kind of
weird past or weird
homosexual encounter or something.
Something weird. It is going more and more that way.
That's like, weird.
Well, we have to remember this started. All these storylines, all these movies, all these shows start with a writer.
Yeah.
Start with a person with a concept. And I often think when we're watching some things that we'll watch, and I go, somebody in their sick mind had to sit and say, that is a great concept for a show or for a movie or for something.
Yeah.
But can I tell you, and we turn that stuff off. We don't watch that stuff. But if you watch any of the true crime stuff that's going on in real time today, the serial killing, the things that are happening in our world today, the world's catching up with the scary of Hollywood.
Yeah.
Meaning a lot of the storylines that are written are not near the stretch to what we're actually seeing in real life today. And that's the scary part. So what do we watch? What do we let in our homes? It's getting scarier and scarier in the world. And I don't mean to take it to that level of, murders and all the things. But there are some horrible things happening every day in our world.
Yeah.
Every day. That the entertainment needs to go back to being entertainment, where it's a wholesome, healthy escape from reality.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No.
It's not.
No. And I like a good drama. I'm glad we can watch those. Those are cool to keep me on my edge and off, on the edge of my seat and off my phone. Comedy's really cool. We saw, oh my gosh, Sebastian Maniscalco's new. Sadly, he drops the F-bomb way, way too much and uses some terrible language. Part of him is just hilarious. I mean, the good stuff, the old Italian stuff, him and his dad, he's kind of walked away from that. But that was always fun, and watching a good Nate Bargatze.
He's clean. He doesn't say one.
No.
And he's a bigger.
What's her name?
Leanne Morgan.
Yeah.
They're bigger. Well, they're newer, but as big as Sebastian Maniscalco. Neither one of them say a single cuss word.
Yeah.
So there is something happening, I think, where you can go so far to the extreme and to the vulgar and to saying the F word so many times that it's not even, that now the audiences are saying, this is refreshing.
Yeah.
Because it's something new and different. And once they start creating comedy sketches that are all just cussing and filthy and dirty, the audience can only digest that so much. How much further are you going to go?
Yeah.
So it comes all the way back full circle to wholesome, clean, family.
Mm-hmm.
And the masses can now come back, because the masses, let's be honest with you, the masses, parents with children, people that don't want to hear all that, need something to watch.
Yeah.
Because we've left that stuff a long time ago.
I don't know what happened to the ratings. Used to be P, then it'd be PG, PG-13.
And censorship.
Then it went to R, things like that. I don't know what happened, because it seems like PG,
17,
PG-13.
There's 17. There's all.
Yeah, there's stuff you see in that you wouldn't see in the past. So they've kind of gotten real liberal.
Right.
They lowered the bar a bit on all of that, and cuss words and everything. I mean, cuss words, everybody cusses today. Look at our president. He's dropping F-bombs, getting up there. I mean, good God.
Yeah.
But there's viewing. I know this. If Marino was in the room, we wouldn't be watching Stranger Things.
No, we're terrified of what he would see.
No. Gianna probably wouldn't sleep. There's things you got to protect your kids from. So you don't want to be streaming that stuff, watching that stuff with your kids that are younger. They will be in, there's going to be some impression made on them. Though we do find it interesting. I don't know what it is. Some people have a knack for that scary stuff, but Muñez have chosen to not celebrate Halloween.
Right.
So that was Chris Muñez, our son-in-law. He just was raised in an environment where his family just wouldn't do it. So that's cool. Steph was raised around celebrating it and so forth, but they've come to a real good understanding. And so little Gianna knows she can't watch anything Halloween.
Right.
So when her dad's around and such,
yeah,
she's not. But when she's with us,
that's the first thing she'll ask.
Oh my gosh, she wants to watch spooky spider stuff.
Right.
That's it's in her.
Right.
That is crazy.
To want to watch what she can't watch, which is a great point to bring up when you're dealing with your kids about it. And we've learned this with the 4 kids, raising them all. We have to be very wise about how we communicate what we watch and what we don't watch. And she's not a kid that's easily scared. But Matthew might be, or their next kid might be a kid that's very easily scared, and you're not going to watch that. Our 4 kids, when we focused on Halloween, it was around the church. It was more harvest. We would dress up, and we didn't really trick or treat in the neighborhood, except at Maureen David's place because they had other kids. We were not into spooky Halloween ever. No scary, no spooky Halloween. So we kept our kids away from spooky scary.
Yeah.
But we also had a little bit of a different approach to just being absolute about something because we didn't want to stir up more rebellion.
Yeah.
So, but a 3-year-old, you got to just draw the line and say, we're not watching that. You're not watching that. And then explain to her as she gets a little bit bigger, why. But that, it's tricky. It's tricky these days to have to set boundaries in the area of what is right to watch. Because there's all that whataboutism, like, well, you can't watch this, but what about that? But serial killers, that's horrible. They say, I just read, of course, social media's they say is Instagram, that people that watch to fall asleep, like crime stories, correct me if I'm wrong, they're saying they have potentially like psychological issues. Yeah, so I stopped doing that. Since I heard that.
Well, what's the egg and the chicken or the egg? Do you have psychological issues which causes you to want to watch those things? Or do you watch those things and then have psychological issues?
I think that. But I see, this is where it's a tough balance between it's everybody's personal decision. If it affects you, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Or it's just wrong. That's the part that gets tricky. We want to just say if it's scary, if it's bad, if it's horror, if it's awful, if it's demonic, if it's ungodly. Okay, well then just turn your TV off completely. Or only watch faith-based shows.
Yeah.
And that's where it has to go back to self-discipline, check your spirit, have a standard in your home that demonic, scary things, we just don't watch and we don't want to stir up fear.
Yeah.
There's no need. As we get older and the kids are teenagers, young adults, you teach them that there are things that will affect and impact their souls, their spirits. Yeah. Yeah. And it comes through your mind, it comes through your eye gate, it comes through your ear gate. And you've got to, what's the old song? Be careful little ears, what you hear. Yep. Be careful little eyes, what you see. And that's a fact.
Yep.
So every family has to take that into account.
The culture that you raise your family in is going to determine the kind of person they are and what culture they then will be comfortable in the rest of their lives. So I know with athletes, young guys that have a certain skill level, whether it's soccer, whether it's baseball, football, they're going to be put in a culture, in an environment that is focused on that particular sport. So a kid raised that is a good soccer player, he's most likely going to be put in a club, soccer club or a team. It's going to start when they're young. If he likes it, he's going to be in that with that team. Then he's going to move to a club. He's going to then be in travel ball. He's going to have all the paraphernalia. His stars that influence him, his role models are going to be pro soccer players. He's going to have the jersey. He's probably going to get something at Christmas and for his birthday that's all around soccer, all that kind of stuff. And it becomes a culture that kid then is going to be raised in. And as he gets older, if he stays in it, he likes it, that's going to be a culture that he's going to pass on to his kid, right? So his sports, what he's going to watch on TV is going to be that. Yep. It's going to be games he's going to be watching. He's going to be dialed in social media, who the athlete is and what he's doing, what team's he on, who's he dating, where's he living, all that kind of stuff. It's a culture they get absorbed into. Mm-hmm. We happen to believe, because of our Christian values, that our culture is the church, the local church. And the culture of the local church is going to provide an education. It's going to provide relationships. It's going to provide role models. It's going to provide a community of people that share the same values, just like the kid in soccer or football or baseball is shared values. All of that's important to them. And that's good to know that in the culture of Christianity, there are things that you should be directing your kids to. So they should be connected with certain leaders in the religious world that share your values. Education, you got to make sure you're putting your kid in a good, healthy Christian educational environment, whether that is a Christian school or whether it's homeschooling that share a Christian curriculum. That's important. I know that in itself, if you're in a Christian environment, most likely your kid's not going to be surrounded at Halloween by the spooky spider stuff that's out there and the demonic, okay? Then you're going to find that their programming is probably going to be geared towards something that's more faith-based, Christian embracing, so that those values then are shared with them. It really is the culture that you are creating that then is supported by your community. And that's why when we say, all right, there's certain things you're going to stream in your home or certain things you're not going to stream in your home, that's why we're saying that. It's so important that it should support your community, the culture that you want to embrace. And as a parent, you determine that for your kids. You don't just say to your kids growing up, I'm going to let them make their own choices growing up. No, you're the bumpers and the bowling alley. You're going to be there to keep them out of the gutter and help them hit the pins and succeed.
Well, I remember growing up, and we did this with our kids, and our parents did it with us. They really lived by that scripture verse, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And we would say to our kids, well, and we hear this, we've heard this all our lives, well, they might do that at Joey's house. We're not doing that at our house. And our culture in the home, where we have our rules and our understanding and our principles and values, we explain why we have them. We sit our children down. We did this for many, many years. Why we don't participate in this activity, or why we don't miss church on Sunday, or why we don't just date at 12 or 13. You know, we have a value principles at our home, that standards that we live by as Alessis, that we pray, we impart into them, also with the support of the church culture, the school culture being a Christian environment. All of that supports them on the wider spectrum to really support their faith and to understand that there is an enemy that is coming for our soul. And if he can't come in one door, he'll try to come in a crack in the window. And we do have to guard our hearts, and we have to teach our children how to guard theirs. And we could argue all day long what's innocent, what's not that big of a deal, and what is an absolute no-no. What's innocent and what's demonic. I mean, we could sit here and argue that all day long. But the reality is, for every family that calls themselves a Christian, you do need to set standards for your home. What you allow in, what you don't allow in. And why would you support your family, your children, with a Christian education, a Christian environment at church, Christian friends, and then at home, you are opening the window and letting in something that is the absolute antithesis to that, and letting it impact and affect their lives. And if it's something that's coming through the television screen, if it's something that is exactly against, it is the opposite of what we believe as Christians, we have to have conviction about that. And we can't just be Christians at church, and we can't just be believers because we put our kids in Christian school to protect them from what, you know? And then at home, we're not having those same guardrails. So we definitely have to use wisdom as parents, as adults. You know, after 18, what you watch, what you see, what you let in, that's between you and the Lord. And I think if we stopped and asked God more and more, if this was edifying, if what I'm watching is edifying, we'd probably be surprised to hear what he had to say. And where we would feel not condemnation, but conviction. And turn that off. That is not for you. It's not healthy. It's not edifying. It doesn't lift you. And the truth is, it might not, watching gay scenes isn't going to make me gay, but it's just going to make me mad. So why am I watching it?
Yeah.
And why am I putting more dollars into the pockets of people who are on an indoctrination campaign to indoctrinate the next generation? I'm not going to give you more money to make that happen. Mm-hmm. So I think that's where we as Christians, we really do need to just evaluate. Every family needs to evaluate that and protect the four walls of your home.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we've said some controversial things here today. Well, and maybe some of our listeners that happen to be in our church that have family members that are gay, maybe they're having a hard time with some of our comments that we're making. And we hopefully are able to express that, our desire is to embrace godly values.
Right.
And anything other than that, though we will always embrace people, there is lifestyles that we will protect our own home from.
Absolutely.
Because they are more godly. We want to pursue those godly principles. So that's why as we talk about this subject, we will go into all programming. I mean, Mary, I'm out there with little Gianna up at the farm, and I have country music going on my cell phone. It's in my back pocket. And it's kind of cute because it just goes with the whole environment.
Yeah.
Okay. And though I enjoy country music, I'm not a country music, I'm not going to only listen to it. But I got convicted because I'm listening to country music and she's there. And I'm like, wow, I don't want her to think country music is the only thing her papa, who's a pastor, is listening to. Right. That's his choice of music. So I pulled my phone out, changed it to our Christmas at church and all of our Christian music that I want her to know her papa, pastor, leader of our family, he listens to Christian music too. Not that I'm exclusive,
yeah.
But I wanted her to sense that in our home, that's the normal music that she should be leaning and enjoying.
And loving, right.
Because we find that little girls, little kids, little boys,
they're sponges.
They are sponges, and their first instinct is not to be little angels.
Right.
No, they have a tendency to embrace or to play out that little bad side that is in them.
Absolutely.
That rebellion, and that's where, mom and dad come along and have to fix that for them. But we got to protect the home.
And I think that's the key, what you said. In the moment you got convicted. Well, there was a reason you got convicted because you've been playing country music forever when you're out there. You love it. It's good, wholesome, fun music.
Yep.
And what made you get convicted? You stayed sensitive and open to the Holy Spirit to speak to you and obey it in the moment when he goes, you should turn that off. Why? Because he's seeing something you might not see, but he flagged you. Be aware of this. This could be. And I think all of us, not being religious,
right,
but being sensitive to the voice of the Holy Spirit in those moments, hey, turn that off. That's not good. And then explaining why. Because here's one of the problems we have with our kids when we just say, you're not going to watch it. And when they double down, I want to, or you're not going to listen to that music, but why not? And we say something extreme like, because a demon's going to jump out and get in you. Well, that never happens. So kids don't believe you. So we can't tell our children to not watch or listen to things because something bad's going to happen. That does not happen. Doesn't happen to anybody. That doesn't happen. What we need to tell them is, it's just not good for you. It's just not good for you. In our home, we've decided we'd rather spend more time watching, listening, ingesting things that are good for us rather than things, I just don't know. It just bothers me. Mm-hmm. And I don't want it to bother you too. So we've just decided as a family, that's not what we're going to do. That's wisdom.
Yeah.
And that is really listening to the voice of God that is trying to warn us and flag us in the times that we might not listen. There's been, how many times did we turn our backs or we walk in when the kids, they didn't even realize it and they're watching television and some commercial would come on and they'd see something and you want to get their eyeballs and scrub them out. You just have to pray over your children. You can't protect everything they see and hear, but we should be people that are sensitive to the voice of God. That when we sense something is not quite, I don't think that's edifying. I think that's healthy. We're the first ones to get up and change the environment. Turn off the channel. Yeah. Turn off the music. Switch it to something that is more beneficial.
Yeah.
That needs to be our regular.
Yeah. Well, if we make the Lord our shepherd,
He'll lead us.
He'll lead us.
That's right.
And then one day we'll get to a place where we shall not want.
That's right.
We don't want for healing. We don't want for mental stability. We
Right.
have all of that.
That's right.
Because we walk in His shadow and follow His lead. So
I love that.
I hope this has helped somebody today as they prepare themselves for the holidays and what they're going to stream and watch. Make sure it's good stuff. Make sure it's wholesome. Protect
Ask the Lord.
all the ears of those
That's
and
right.
the eyes of those who are watching. And we'll find a couple of good ones, I'm sure, that will be new to watch on Amazon or Netflix
or we'll be so busy we won't even have time. Who knows?
Oh man,
that
happens at the farm. Doesn't it?
we didn't really watch anything.
We try to do it at night, but we're too exhausted.
We're too tired. We just
because we are up
never
early
mind.
hunting, and we find ourselves never watching TV at the farm because we're so busy.
Just turn on the Food Network.
Is
the Food Network safe? Can I watch the Food Network? Is that safe? Is there anything bad on the Food Network?
Who the chef are?
It just makes me fat.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us for another episode of The Family Business with the Alessis. We hope we said something today that'll help you choose good programming for your family to stream this holiday season. Take care of yourselves. God bless.
Thanks so much for joining The Family Business today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow or subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave us a review. We appreciate your support and can't wait to have you join us next time, because family is everybody's business.